Welcome to the Pappageorge Policy Update. Today we're going to be talking about the Troy-Birmingham Transit Center. It's an important part of the future for the region, and with me today my guests are Jana Eckers, she's the Planning Director for the City of Birmingham, and Brian Murphy, who's the Assistant City Manager of Economic Development Services for Troy. And these folks have been working a long time on a project that's going to be very important to us, as I said earlier. So let me start with you, Jana, and just sort of lay out what the program is all about.
Yes. Well, the City of Troy actually received, in a consent judgment that was done in 2000, I believe it was, some property behind a development to be set aside for transit center use. However, they can only use it for that if they get the funding in place by June of 2010. So recently, over the last 2 years, the City of Birmingham and the City of Troy have been working together to try to come up with basically a funding mechanism for the transit center and also a plan for it. We're looking at a multimodal transit center, one that would connect both the communities, so there'd be a tunnel underneath the rail line, which would be a pedestrian access only and bicycles, etc. And we're looking at running the existing smart bus lines through there, as well as the Amtrak. It would be the relocated Amtrak station, and we would also look at doing Metro cars, Hertz Rent-A-Car, connections with the Troy Airport across Coolidge Highway, and also linking up with Aerotropolis.
Okay, so again, why don't we look at that slide so everybody can see where this thing is located. It's on the border between Birmingham and Troy.
That's correct.
It's the old train station that was there.
The old train station's a little further north, and basically this is in the area of Maple Road, which is 15 Mile, and Coolidge Highway, in behind the shopping plaza there, tucked up against the rail line.
Now, to put this thing in context, we've been talking here in Lansing about light rail going up Woodward. And the purpose of light rail going up Woodward is to get people to work. Now, it wouldn't make much sense to have light rail come up Woodward and then have everybody try and walk or catch a cab to get to work in Troy primarily. So the idea of the transit center is to take up where the rail line leaves off and actually physically get people to the office they need to get to.
That's right. So
this is part of the whole deal here. As I tell my colleagues, and Brian, you made me aware of this, there are 120,000 people who work in Troy. There are 80,000 people that live in Troy. Of the 120,000 people who work in Troy, only 8,000 live in Troy. That means we've got 112,000 people bucking traffic and waiting for buses and doing all the stuff they have to do to get to work. So this is not a benefit to just Troy and Birmingham. It's a benefit to the whole region. And we have to think regionally about these projects, and that's what I keep telling my colleagues. Think regionally. The port is in Detroit. We can't move that. Workers are in Detroit. Workers are in Bloomfield Hills, Birmingham, Madison Heights, you name it. And we've got to put all those people together if we're going to have a viable future economy.
That's absolutely correct, and I think that's one of the things we've been doing as well, is working with Detroit Regional Mass Transit to make sure we coordinate this effort with what they're doing. And they've actually recognized the Troy-Birmingham Transit Center as one of the potential regional hubs in the regional system, so that all of their lines would connect up through this station. Well, not every single one of them, but the ones in the area. And it would certainly connect the Woodward light rail corridor through this center, and obviously connect to the Big Beaver corridor, which is, as you say, that's where a large majority of the people in Troy work.
Now, how about the money, Brian? What's this going to cost?
The total project is estimated at about $7 million, but that allows for us to acquire some land on the Birmingham side and make some improvements for circulation on the Birmingham and the Troy side, as well as build the tunnel to connect the two communities together, and as well provide for a 2,500 square foot facility to serve as that entrance hub to provide all of those services that we've talked about, whether it's the Amtrak services, to the Smart Line services, to the black sedan industry, and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're even going to have a bicycle rack, right?
There's going to be bicycle racks. When we talk multimodal, we are talking multimodal. You're right, exactly right.
Okay, and the big expense there is the tunnel, because you got that railroad track you got to do something about.
That tunnel is a very expensive tunnel because of the fact that, we're going underneath an existing rail line that
Amtrak
carries,
line.
well, it's actually a freight line. It's
Yeah.
a CN line that carries just a tremendous amount of tonnage through there, and it does take quite a bit of engineering feat to make sure we provide them with continuous service for CN while we also build this tunnel.
Okay, where are we in the process right now? How far along? What's the next step, and so forth?
There's a couple of different prongs that are going on simultaneously. On the design side of things, we have been cleaning up the final designs and getting the project ready so that we have bid-ready documents. That is going rather quickly. As Jana has a design charrette that's coming up on June the 15th and 16th.
That's the slide you just put up there.
The slide here just gives you an idea of the plans as they lay out with the site plan layout as Brian was referring to. We're just cleaning up these plans now with some drawings for the center itself and the ramp and the tunnel system that would get you access between the two sides.
Okay.
That puts us in a good position for the design timeline will put us in a good position so that we can go after ARA funds as well as high priority project funds from Washington, D.C.
Okay, let me stop you there. ARA funds, that's what everybody's calling stimulus money,
Stimulus money, right.
Now, you've applied for stimulus funding?
We have applied for high priority project funding at this point.
Which is separate from stimulus funding.
Which is separate from stimulus funding.
Do the other one, too.
Yes. Oh, there's. You're absolutely right. Senator, you're absolutely right. What we're taking on the funding side is a multi-pronged approach. We aren't putting any effort into any one particular pool and expecting that we're going to be able to fund the project entirely out of that one pool, and that's all we're going after.
Yeah.
We fully expect, because it is a $7 million project, that we will have to secure funds from multiple agencies over multiple years. Mm-hmm. And really our goal right now is to secure all of the funding by June of 2010. The construction issues, if the timing of the funds don't come in until after 2010, we can work with that.
Okay, and 2010, the reason you want to do that instead of tomorrow is?
Well, frankly, if the money came tomorrow, we'd be very happy.
Okay.
Tomorrow would be great.
Well, now let me take that back and let me put it this way. You're going to be bid ready when?
This summer.
Okay, so the earliest this thing would start is some days after you put the bids out, right?
Right, exactly.
That's correct.
So as far as the building season is concerned, you guys at the earliest probably be ready, assuming now you got the money, as soon as we're done here.
Right.
September maybe.
We could break ground this fall.
Fall, yes.
Mm-hmm. There's no doubt we could break ground this fall, and that's why we're working on the plans simultaneously as trying to secure funding. Mm-hmm. What we've learned in going through this entire process of securing the funding for the project is that the earlier we can have the bid documents ready, it shows that we're shovel ready.
Okay,
and
that's where I was heading. The magic word,
yes.
shovel ready.
Shovel
okay.
ready. As soon as we're shovel ready, it opens up some more doors for us to secure funding, and that's exactly what we're shooting for.
Yes, and so we're working on the drawings for the tunnel, the center, the whole 9 yards, and that's what we're shooting to have finished this summer.